What's up, everybody? We are the Real to Sports Podcast, and welcome to another episode of the Real to Sports Talk Show. We got some NFL topics to discuss, man. I got Mr. President with me today, man. Me and Mr. President, we are waiting on the arrival of the Jacksonville Jaguar T-Rock himself. And we're going to sit around, man. We're going to talk some NFL discussions as Young Mark put Young Mark on display today, man. He's going to give us some of his NFL knowledge right here, ladies and gentlemen, on the Real to Sports Talk Show. All right. Thank you guys for being here with us on another early edition of the Real Sports Talk Show, man. Thank you guys for being here with us watching us via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So if you guys would be so kindly, man, to go ahead and do Young Mark a favor. It's just Young Mark, man. So y'all do a Young Mark favor, man. Show Mr. President some love and give him a thumbs up. Give him a thumbs up, man, if you're watching this. And if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications. That bell, again, it bonds us together. So hit that bell for all notifications. It let you know every single thing that we are doing. Now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce. Everybody know who he is, ladies and gentlemen. He represents the Raider Nation, the three-time Super Bowl champion, the Las Vegas Raiders. He is the president. The president of the Real to Sports group on Facebook, man. He is Oklahoma State's alumni. That man right there. Young Mark.
What's going on, people?
Yeah, I'm
glad to be back. Saturdays without the Real to Sports Talk Show don't feel right, man. I'm glad to be back.
Yes, that's what I talk about, man. And the football season is dwindling down.
Oh no, it ain't.
Hey, well, we got USFL and we got XFL.
We got XFL in about 2 weeks,
sir.
And then USFL in April. So we
coming. Hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! And representing Saxonville, good old Saxonville, man. Hey, if you don't like it, just chill with it. The AFC South Division champion, the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's the Plymouth Rock, T-Rock.
What's
up, Rock?
What's going on, yo?
Nothing much. Running a little late, but I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. But
hey, man, you in the DMV, bro. It's hard to be on time when you're in the DMV.
Yeah. And those of you viewers that want to pay T-Rock's fine for being late, you can send that fine to RealSports@gmail.com. $25 fine. It's all good. It's all good, man. It is all good, man. Remember, hit that thumbs up for us, man, and that subscribe button again. Yes, sir. Twitter and Twitch, Facebook. We are live all over the place today.
We all over the world.
Man, all over the world. Here we go, man. We won't be with you guys too long, man. We're going to talk about a couple of NFL topics today. first thing we're gonna start off, man, is the Houston Texans, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, Lordy. The Houston Texans hire 49ers defensive coordinator D'Amico Ryans as their new head coach. Now, T-Rock, nobody knows the Houston Texans more than you. And
Yeah,
they are
I've
in
watched
your
them
division.
destroy our franchise for like
Exactly. So you know these guys like a book. You know these guys like a book. So my question to you, sir, is with Ryan as a new head coach, man, what is in store for the future of the Houston Texans with the hiring of D'Amico Ryans?
I think he just because of the fact that he's a defensive minded personnel and player. You know, he played cornerback for the Texans. Well, yeah, right. He played cornerback for the Texans, right? Or
Linebacker, I believe.
linebacker, right? Middle linebacker, right? So yeah, him having that, you know, I think he gonna keep Davis Mills as his quarterback because of the simple fact he's already got that camaraderie with the locker room, and you know, all they really needed, they got a young defense. You know, like how the Jets had a young up and coming defense. They just needed to add a little bit more leadership in certain spots. You know, to just to be more of more consistency and more of a grown up defense. You know, but I think they got their quarterback though. You know, Davis Mills showed that he can lead an offense. You know what I'm saying? A lot of their games they wasn't necessary. If you look at the Texans' losses this year, I don't think they got. I mean, did they get blown out? The only game I think they got blown out was probably Jacksonville this year.
Yeah,
but a lot of their games they was kind of in it. You know, Davis Mills wasn't no slouch. You know, I mean, he did good. He did good last year. I mean, you know, when Jacksonville was the worst team. So you know, I think he might go defensive minded, being the fact that that's his mentality. But it depends on if he picks a good offensive coordinator and things of that nature, and they can get some pieces on offense. I think that he probably goes with the first because they got the first pick, right?
Second
pick. Chicago got the first pick. So yeah, Chicago ain't going to take a quarterback because they got their franchise quarterback, and you know I don't see them passing on David Mills. You know, like he not even the worst quarterback in that draft class. You know, out of Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Davis Mills is kind of like up there because Trey Lance ain't doing nothing. People they lost hope in Zach Wilson. So you know, Davis Mills he's a inept. You know, he's not inept, but you know, he's a pretty good, decent quarterback compared to the other two guys that was drafted ahead of him. You know, I don't put him in that plateau with Jones and Fields and as you know, Sunshine. But you know, I think that the Texans go defensive with the second pick, and then I see like C.J. Stroud and the quarterback from Bryce Young. I see them dropping to like a team that needs a quarterback, really. Yeah.
Good point.
I think he gonna draft somebody and he gonna get a linebacker or somebody that can help anchor that defense.
So my second part is well, actually you kind of answered it because I was going to ask you what would be his first priority coming into an organization that's been very bad.
Yeah.
So what would be his first priority? What do you think will be his very first priority coming in?
To change the culture, pretty much to change the culture of, because think about it, the Houston Texans culture has been some, I don't want to, use the term or not, but it's been in between that gray area of racism and anti-racism, things of that nature with their owner coming out. Bob McNair, he passed away, right? God rest his soul. I don't wish death upon anybody. But he said some very racist remarks when he was still on, when he was still the owner. And then when they passed it down to his son carried on with that same type of mentality. So I think they're going in a different direction. The fact that they had Lovie Smith, Lovie Smith is a pioneer in the black community as far as coaching, and now they go into a new phase with D'Amico Ryan. So I think his mentality, he's gonna want to come in there and change the perspective of what people think, just like how Doug Peterson did with Jacksonville. He's gonna try to change the perspective of the culture and what people are going to think of the Houston Texans. But I think it's a good hire though. It's a good hire for real.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I'm happy to see it. I'm actually happy to see it. Mr. President, what do you think about Houston Texans, man? D'Amico Ryans, new head coach.
I have mixed emotions about it, honestly. I think that it's I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to know that this team in 3 straight years has had a black head coach be hired. That's I don't know if that's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. It shows like the turmoil and constant change in that organization. But with Coach Ryans being a coach, him being a former Houston Texan himself, I'm hoping that his past with that team will force Houston to give him more time than he gave Coach Tully and Coach Smith before him to kind of build something and get it going. I really think Coach Smith should have kept the job if it was me, if I was the owner, just because of we kept constantly saying you can't sleep on Houston this year. They were playing with a lot of fire and a lot of heart despite their record. But I think his first priority, if they're going to give him enough time to make something out of this, has to be to get that quarterback and that offense situated. I slightly disagree with T-Rock. I think Davis Mills is good enough to be like a solid backup, but I don't think he's going to be that franchise quarterback that's going to get your team over the hump and pull you out of some tough situations in games. The defense has the potential to do that with them having Derek Stingley, who was a phenomenal cornerback out of LSU that they took last year. In the action that I got to see him play in, he looked really good. They definitely need to get him some help on that side of the ball, but I feel like that second pick that they got in the draft, if they don't trade down with somebody to accumulate more draft picks, which is what I personally think they should do. If they stay at number 2 and have to pick somebody, I personally feel like you have to go with one of the 2 quarterbacks, whether it be one of the 3, whether Will Levis out of Kentucky float your boat, or C.J. Stroud out of Ohio State, or Bryce Young out of Alabama, whichever of those quarterbacks you like the most. I think you definitely need to get a rookie QB in there, the groom for the future. Get him a good offensive coordinator for sure, and try to do what you can in free agency and in the draft. There's going to be a lot of depth at both the skill positions and the offensive line positions in this draft. So Houston can try to get young on offense through the draft, and then potentially bring in some veteran leadership on the defensive side of the ball to kind of help expedite the rebuild on that side. So, I think the success of this is going to be determined on how much patience the organization has with them. It has the potential to be what Dan Campbell was to Detroit. I feel like it has that kind of potential with him being a former player like that.
Good point. Great point.
But if they don't give him enough time to do anything, Houston could be the Nebraska of the pro ranks. And for those who don't know, Nebraska is a very proud historical franchise, but they're in such a mess that no matter who they bring through there to try to fix it, nobody's been able to get it done. So I hope Houston doesn't end up going down that route, but the best way to avoid that if you're them is to give your coach some time to kind of develop something and get something going.
You know what, Mr. President, you touched on something with Dan Campbell. I think that you touched on a lot when you said that, because the Detroit Lions is inheriting Dan Campbell's energy. He's an energy type coach, and they're gaining that They gain that, and I think with DeMeco is a bona fide, sure enough leader, man. Look what he did with 49ers. I mean, those guys, man, they marched to the beat of his drum, and he's bringing that over to Houston. I think Houston is going to be changed. I think that it's going to change. First of all, we're going to put asses in seats. Second of all, the energy level is going to be up. It's going to be up big time. Now, let's see what I was about to say here. I'm going to ask Rock. Now, this guy signed for 6 years with the Texans, right? Let's see this. Okay. I see him maybe out of the 6 years. I think he is going to make the playoffs. But, because a lot of people say, oh, DeMeco is going to come in and change. I see Jacksonville running that. They're going to run that division for a while. I could see Houston in a wild card. Not right now. Maybe about another when he get everything established, because it's going to take a minute. I give him 2 years. In year 2, I'm not gonna say division, because again, I think that division is Jacksonville's time to reign over that division. Tennessee had their time, the Colts had their time, but I think it's Jacksonville's time for the next 3-4 years.
Yeah, Tennessee, and really it was really Indianapolis and the Texans division before Tennessee got better.
Yeah.
Because every year it was Peyton Manning or Andrew. Once Peyton left, it was Andrew Luck versus Houston.
Yeah.
So, it was
the Colts had, like you said, Peyton Manning, and he dominated that division. Like, I mean, y'all came out swinging when y'all first came to the league. Y'all was hella good, and then it went down after that. But I mean, do y'all see Houston maybe going to the playoffs now? I'm not saying DeMeco Ryan is
I give him I mean, it all depends. It all depends, because no one's seen Jacksonville no one's seen us making the playoffs this year, and we had to look at ourselves in the mirror, in the middle of the season, to decide our fate. Now, Houston was honestly one of the most competitive 2-13 and 1. What, they was 2-13?
Oh hell yeah!
That was their record, 2-13-1. So they was they wasn't no slouches. It wasn't like they was trying to go out there and because when they had the number 1 seed on the line, what did they do? I mean, when they had not the number 1 seed, when they had the number 1 pick,
we know what you mean.
They end up going out there and winning the game. They they didn't lay an egg or nothing to Indianapolis. Right. They went out there and said, "Hey, we not gonna go out like no slouches. We just seen Jacksonville turn their whole." Because think about it, we turned our whole team around
in one season.
Yeah, and we had to pick twice. It was people thinking we was gonna pick number 1 in the draft again for a 3rd straight year. So I look at it like Houston gonna win more than 2 games next year. Our division, the team I see really taking a fault in our division next year would be. I think it's gonna be Tennessee for real, because Indianapolis can just Indianapolis has shown they can plug a quarterback into their system and look competitive, but it's about the pieces that is around that quarterback. Now, if they go after CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, then I got the Colts being last in our division this year. I'm sorry, this season coming up. But it all depends on how they do in Tennessee, because they brought Mike Vrabel there to win a championship, and Vrabel hasn't tasted champion. He's tasted division success.
There you go.
But in the playoffs, his only bat to victory was sending Tom Brady home
AFC
in New England.
Game. Yeah.
Other than that, think about it. They lost to Cincinnati when they was the number 1 seed.
Very true.
They let Kansas City come all the way back the year when they had Kansas City on the ropes. Them and the Texans that year when Mahomes and them first went to the Super Bowl, I think.
Mm-hmm. Was that 19, Mark? That was 19, wasn't it?
Put me on the spot. Yeah, it was.
Oh, Mark?
Yeah.
I ain't said that in a while. You right though. What up, Philly G? What up, Philly G? Philly G. I think their defense is gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Texans. Yeah. Oh hell yeah. Their defense is gonna be tough. The coach trying to get my offensive coordinator to be the next head coach.
Yeah, the 2019 season was when they first went to the Super Bowl. It was the last Super Bowl before COVID.
Okay. And speaking of Philadelphia, the Texans, they played Philadelphia good as shit. They ran the ball down Philly's throat. Philly couldn't stop that run.
And
they lost the game.
We beat them this year. The Texans won 7. They was 7-0. They won 8 straight against Jacksonville. So it took us some growing up to be like, hey, we gotta overcome the team that's got one. They only win this season was us and the coach.
I'm glad you said that, Rock, because that's what I said. Not to jump off teams, but that's what I said about y'all when y'all lost to Kansas City. I said it's a loss, but it's a gain because now Jacksonville has grown up. They grew up fast. In 1 year, they grew up. They won a division. They played Kansas City. They only lost by a touchdown. It ain't like Kansas City. They went to Arrowhead. It's a place that it's kind of impossible to win, unless you got refs on the payroll. but a place to win or whatever. But hey, Jacksonville grew up, bro. They grew up. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. I can see Houston doing that. I can see not going down your path, Jacksonville, but somewhat similar. Yeah. What you think, Mr. President?
I think Houston has the potential to start getting in that playoff conversation sooner rather than later, just because they have a young quarterback's best friend and a good running game on offense, like you pointed out. Absolutely. So I feel like if they get that young quarterback in there, get them a couple of skilled players on offense, and then, like I said, build that defense through free agency and some of the rounds of the draft, they can be all right pretty quickly. They just got to hit on those free agency and draft pickups. Because, you and I both know, host, you can live or die by how good you are at bringing in players off the street or drafting them into the league. So, ask the Jets and the Giants, how important that is for them. So everybody has the potential to do it. You just got to hit. That's one of my biggest areas of concern, honestly, with Houston. If anything, I'm like, I don't know how much I trust the GM that they got. Just with the way that, like, again, the GM in the 3 years that he's been the GM of that team lost a franchise quarterback and has hired his third head coach in 3 years. So I don't know if the GM with a track record like that, I don't know how he still got a job, if I'm being honest, but I don't know how
that's a fact.
How much I trust him to kind of like lead the charge in this crucial point in our franchise's history. So, but again, it could be worse because all these teams hiring head coaches, and we still waiting on Indianapolis to hire somebody. So,
oh God, Philly decent T-Rock, they had 3, y'all, the Colts in Jacksonville. So I think it was a comment that you had said, but I'm gonna ask you this, Rock, again, because you know the Houston Texans in and out. Do you really?
They didn't sweep us. The Colts didn't sweep. I mean, the Texans didn't sweep us.
I think in that brief moment, Philly G forgot who T-Rock's favorite team is.
Yeah, I forgot. Maybe he did, but what I want to ask you, Rock, is
okay.
Camera. do you go for Bryce Young, or do you stay with Davis Mills? Because, like you said, Davis Mills is not bad. He just needs some work. When I seen him against the Eagles, I said, "Damn, this dude won." I think they played. They played the Cowboys, and I seen when they played the Cowboys. This dude's not that bad. He's not terrible at all. That's just the organization not having a quarterback coach.
And think about it though. The Texans have always been the team that had good running backs. They running back.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
Zach Stacy to Ben Tate to Arian Foster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So my thing is damn, like do you? I mean, of course you're going to draft a quarterback, but which would be the right quarterback, really, out of Stroud and Bryce? I'm just naming them because they're the top quarterbacks.
I mean, for real though, Stroud and Bryce Young. I mean, these new waves of quarterbacks, like we talked about, the guys who rely on their legs, the Lamar, the next wave of the dual threat quarterbacks. They're going to have to eventually learn to read a defense from inside the pocket.
Jesus, boy, you said a lot right there.
Because these NFL offenses and these linebackers, these corners, these defensive ends. The one thing I noticed when I seen Trevor Lawrence live in person when he was playing against the Commanders was that the defense was watching him. Trevor Lawrence at one point in time this season was a one look thrower. He would just stare down his receiver.
Exactly. You did against Kansas City some too. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So these corners ain't stupid. They gonna look and see, Bryce Young staring. The NFL, the windows in the NFL ain't like how college. The hash marks ain't like how it is in college. In college, if you notice, the hash marks is a little bit more smaller. So they use not even the full. They don't even use the whole field in college. In the NFL, you got to use the whole field in order to beat a defense. Because the defense is going to move sideline to sideline with you.
Right.
In the NFL. So, that's why a lot of people are starting to learn how to, like what True to the Game said, they needed a new offensive coordinator because if people are starting to hone in on Lamar Jackson's strengths, it's all going to depend on, I think C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young might go to Carolina or somewhere like that because of the simple fact of how their offense is predicated on. But it depends on who.
I like that.
It depends on, to me, I look at it like Davis Mills is a good quarterback for how the Texans want to do. They're going to want to run the ball. They're going to want to use their defense to take the threat off of forcing Davis Mills to throw 30, 40 times a game because he had to do that this year in order for them.
He could run too.
Yeah,
he could run. Yeah, he could run.
And they had another backup. Was it Jeff Driscoll that went to Florida? He was their backup. So.
Oh damn, I didn't know that. Okay.
So I mean, and I think they drafted Davis Mills in the 4th round or something like that when he came out. Was it the 4th or 5th round?
Mark,
hold on.
I'll tell you, man, that's the best assistant in the world right there, boy. He be on it. Philly G said, my bad, Tennessee is what I meant. Oh, okay.
Davis Mills, ironically enough, his middle name is Compton. Shout out Compton. He was a 3rd round pick in the 2021.
You draft a 3rd round pick. You kind of in the NFL draft, the first 4 rounds are players that you're kind of investing your franchise in. Mm-hmm. I mean, you draft him in the 4th round, you draft him in the 3rd round, and he's pretty much the 4th best quarterback out of that draft class right now. So I mean, would you want to turn around and draft somebody in the first round to just be Davis Mills backup? Because I don't see Davis Mills giving up his job. So it was kind of different. We had to draft Trevor Lawrence because we took Gardner Minshew in the 6th round or something like that. So you had to draft your franchise quarterback.
You had to.
Some of the best quarterbacks in the league have been in the 3rd, 4th round. Mm-hmm. That are putting on numbers. Like Dak Prescott went to the playoffs. He was a third, fourth round draft pick.
Fourth round. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Lamar,
you know what I'm saying?
Lamar was 32nd.
Yeah,
last
in the
pick.
32nd in the first round. So
right, MVP.
Yeah, so
yeah,
like
right,
and think about it. The Texans had success. The
Jay
best
was
that the
second.
Texans had success was when
That's true, Philly G.
When Matt Schaub was their quarterback, and Matt Schaub was a backup for Michael Vick.
Oh God, Matt Schaub, he was our quarterback. He sucked.
Yeah, but he was on the latter end of his career though. That was
true.
Years after he didn't got destroyed. That was years after him being the franchise signal caller in the Texans. So I mean,
Mark. Oh, Rob. Mark, you remember Matt Schaub, bro? Boy, those the days right there.
Matt Schaub was
God damn.
I love Matt Schaub to death. I really got mad respect for him because he helped pave the way for history. Without Matt Schaub, Derek Carr would have never been the very first rookie quarterback in Raiders history to start week 1 for us.
Shit. You ain't lying, bro. Get this guy out of here.
So I mean,
I get you, Rob.
To me, I look at it like I think he still got some more to show. Like this is his second season as the quarterback for the Texans, and they drafted him in the 3rd round.
This will be his 3rd.
I mean, 3rd because this will be his 3rd season coming up, but he just finished his 2nd season.
Very true. Very true.
You don't get rid of your. I mean, to me, I just don't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get rid of a 3rd round draft pick, and we didn't even put him in a position to win. Like when Russell Wilson got drafted by Seattle, he was put in a position to win. He beat everybody knew Matt Flynn wasn't going to be great, so he was put in a position to win. I think if they build that defense right, get a few free agency pieces because Brandon Cooks, he don't want to be a Texan anymore. So if they get somebody in there that wants to that can help turn that offense around because they got pieces on offense, Pierce. Nico Collins, they got some good young pieces that they can run with with Houston. I just think like if they get a true number 1 receiver, they can get a true number 1 receiver out of the draft. I wouldn't go.
Hell yeah, I agree with that. I
wouldn't pick C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. They too frail, and
okay.
To me, I just think that they gonna go somewhere where they're going to start day 1. Davis Mills, to me, I feel like he's not going to give up that position. Like, and think about it. He came from where? Washington State University.
No, he did not.
Washington.
No, he did not.
He didn't come from Washington.
Davis Mills is the product of David Shaw and the Stanford Cardinals.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was thinking about the other guy. The dude that backed up Gardner Minshew that had 7 touchdowns.
So you basically
he did. He went to Stanford. Yeah.
So basically, just build. You want to build around Davis Mills.
Why not?
Build around.
I would.
It's
if
not
I
a bad
was
idea.
D'Amico Ryans, I would.
It's not a bad
we already got somebody who can command the locker room. Like they could have went 0-6. They could have went 0-18, 17 this season.
Mm-hmm.
They never benched Davis. The only time they benched Davis Mills is when he got I think when he got hurt in that game against
Philly G.
Didn't he get hurt in one of the games this year that they had to put Driscoll in?
Yeah. Yeah, Driscoll, he did. Yeah, he did play a game.
So I mean, I look at it like you got to give these quarterbacks some time, just say, okay, we're gonna draft this guy, C.J. Stroud. Because he played with Ohio State. Name one good Ohio State quarterback that's in the NFL right now.
Justin Fields.
Right. Justin Fields, right? And his team is doing what?
Yeah. Garbage. They the worst team.
You got nobody around
number
him.
1 in the draft. Got people questioning, is he about to get rid of Justin Fields? They not getting rid of Justin Fields.
Right. No. Hell no. No. They're going to build around
Justin Fields.
I get what you're saying.
Name another Ohio State quarterback that's been great.
Terrell Pryor.
Pryor, where's he at now?
Hey, man.
He wasn't great.
He was great. He holds the Raiders record for the longest touchdown run in Raiders history.
You're talking naming one team.
It's also the NFL
because
record.
he broke that big run in week 1 and he had no highlight to. We tried to have Terrell Pryor be our wide receiver in Jacksonville. He quit football after that.
Yeah. But he went to Washington to be a wide receiver.
Quit football. So I mean, to me, I'm not stuck. I'm not sold on these. I'm not sold on them two college quarterbacks. If I was Houston, I'm drafting a wide receiver or drafting somebody on that defense because you can always get depth at all them other positions. The franchise, they got a franchise quarterback in Davis Mills. They just got to give him some time. Like, look how many years Green Bay stuck with Aaron Rodgers before Aaron Rodgers was great.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers broke the first time Aaron Rodgers got thrown in the action. Aaron Rodgers broke his leg or something like that. The first game he played with Green Bay. He was injury prone his first few years with Green Bay until they got rid of Brett Favre, gave him the keys to the kingdom. Deshaun Watson ain't walking through that door no more. So they got to give the keys to the kingdom to somebody. And why would I give it to somebody that just came out of college when I got a guy who knows the speed
taking your team backwards
of the who knows the speed of the NFL? I know you don't like it. So
he gearing up, boy.
Y'all should draft. Won't y'all do this? Won't the Las Vegas Raiders move up in the draft and get CJ Stroud or one of them since you're stuck on them?
I don't care who we get.
Because y'all gonna need a quarterback. That's the biggest question.
We ain't talking about the Raiders right now, dog.
Who is the Raiders gonna have at the signal helm to be their new franchise signal caller? Because
all right, Mr. President, is on you. You could close this thing out. Rock said hit. Car gone. Yeah, car is gone. But we ain't talking about the Raiders. But all right, Mr. President, what you got with the Houston Tech? Rock made some. Before you start, I want to say Rock made a good point because basically he's saying that just don't throw away your quarterback. Don't throw him away like that. Give him a chance to develop. Give him a chance. Okay, you got a new coach, you got a new organization coming in. Give him that chance to develop and don't throw him away by bringing in a name like Bryce Young, Heisman, because he could be the drizzling shit, coming in. And it's just like, damn, we should have kept Davis. That's that right there. Shoot you in the foot is a metaphor we were saying. But go ahead, Mr. President.
There's a lot to digest of what T-Rock was saying.
He said a lot.
He did. One of the first moves I'm making before I decide what I'm doing at quarterback, period. If I'm Houston, I'm making a call to David Shaw. I'm calling Coach Shaw. He just walked away from Stanford. I don't know if he wants to take a year off from football or not, but Coach Shaw is one of the best offensive minds in football.
I agree.
If I was Houston, I would bring him in.
Oh, hell yeah.
And lean on him, not only to run the offense, but to lean on him for his head coaching experience, having done it for so many years at Stanford. So that would be one of my first moves. My second move, and this is where I vehemently disagree with my man T-Rock, I don't think Davis Mills is the answer in Houston at all, in no way, shape, or form. Just the simple fact that they were in a lot of close games last year. They probably could have won if they would have had better quarterback play. And then also it doesn't speak too well to the organization's confidence in you when they bench you for playing bad against the Commanders, put in Kyle Allen and Jeff Driscoll, have musical chairs at quarterback for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then turn back to Davis Mills because they don't have anybody else to turn to. I think Davis Mills would be a very high quality backup in the NFL, but I don't trust him to be the guy who's going to go out there late in the fourth quarter and put together a 2-minute drive to win me the game. I'm not putting my faith in him to do that. When it comes to the drafting of the young quarterbacks, me personally, I'm leaning more so towards CJ Stroud just because he's been in a pro-style offense his whole career. He has to make those defensive reads, and he knows what it's like to go up against some pretty high-quality defenses throughout his collegiate career. Just look at him going up against Penn State every year. And then what he did against Georgia, which is pretty much an NFL football team at this point, he played really well. The only concern I have with CJ Stroud is the fact that, like, he literally plays surrounded by NFL talent. So I don't know how well he would do when he go to a bad team with no talent or little talent to speak of. Because he's got pretty much all NFL wide receivers, NFL running backs, NFL offensive linemen up there at Ohio State. So that'd be my only concern. But if I'm Houston, I'm looking at him or potentially getting a veteran quarterback to bring in for this year, at worst to compete with Davis Mills, if you still believe in him. Because, again, if you go down my route of hiring Coach Shaw knows Davis Mills better than anybody in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
so he could be somebody to help improve Davis Mills to the level that T-Rock is saying that he's on, or he can help Davis Mills transition him until the young guy is ready. In my opinion, they could even try to trade for Jordan Love, who is starting to get a little antsy sitting on the bench and wants to show the world what he can do. That's another option for them. But if I was Houston, that's one of the first big moves I'm making. I'm changing that quarterback room up, getting me a high quality backup, give me a young guy. We're gonna build this thing out for the future. Because the one thing with Houston throughout their history, aside from them taking David Carr with the first overall pick, they've never really tried to draft and develop a franchise quarterback. It's always them picking up somebody else's backup off the street and trying to morph them into a franchise QB like they did with Matt Schaub and Ryan Mallett and Brian Hoyer and Brandon Whedon and all these other guys that have come through.
Ryan Mallett.
So they drafted Deshaun Watson.
Drafted Deshaun, and then the franchise did him completely dirty, which is why he wanted to get out of there.
Yeah,
so,
Ryan Mallett.
Hey, man.
God
I'm just going down the list. So
I feel you, bro.
With that being said, if I'm Houston, I think you need to start taking a legitimate chance at drafting your franchise quarterback so you can have that sustained success that your other division rivals have had. Trevor Lawrence was drafted high in the draft by Jacksonville. Look what he's doing. Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck drafted by the Colts, and look what they did for that franchise. I mean, so again, that's the way I would go about it if it was me. And
the Titans drafted Malik Willis, and look what he's doing for that franchise.
Hey, he raw. He's raw. That was the biggest thing against him coming out, like real talk. But you see, and that's Tennessee. But when they drafted a quarterback, they drafted Steve McNair. He took him to the Super Bowl. Again,
good point.
If aside from that. And another point I want to address that you made, you mentioned that if you draft a player in the third round, you're investing in him to be a part of their future. Do either one of y'all remember a brother by the name of Tyler Wilson? Either one of y'all?
Was he a lineman?
No. So let me put you up on game real quick. In the 2013 NFL draft, in the third round, the Raiders took Tyler Wilson, quarterback out of Arkansas. Tyler Wilson was a third round pick by the Raiders, who didn't even make it to the end of training camp. They cut him during the preseason, and the dude never really amounted to anything in the NFL.
Who was our quarterback at the time?
He was competing against Terrell Pryor and Matt McGloin.
God damn, he ain't win?
No. So again, that proves like no matter what round you draft somebody, you take that risk and them not paying it out. But just to say that somebody, because they're drafted in the third round, we should waste some years in trying to invest in them. That's not what you should do.
I'm just saying, usually in the third round, though, it seems like the Baltimore Ravens always find their gems in the third and fourth round. So that that's probably why. Because they had a beast of a. I never knew about this Tyler Wilson dude.
Hell no, me neither.
Yeah, Tyler Wilson was a third round pick of the Raiders in 2013, and he did not.
And he went to Arkansas, right?
Camp. Yeah.
Arkansas. The fuck?
Yep.
SEC.
Yeah. So again, I just want to put that out there.
Mark, you got a good point. Both of y'all got a good point. Both of y'all got a good point. It's like Rock Point, and it's kind of is the same way,
It's a boom or bust, though. I get you.
Yeah, it's a hit or miss. And it's different strokes for different folks. You know, it hits for somebody, but it don't hit for somebody else. It definitely, like you said, the Baltimore Ravens, it definitely went for them.
They always seem to
But
find
they had
gems,
they had Ozzie Newsome though. They had Ozzie Newsome, who arguably, like, not even biasly speaking, I know Drew to the game would feel me on this. Ozzie Newsome is damn near top 10 GM all time, if you ask me.
Yeah,
because he
Shot
rarely
fire,
missed. Ozzie Newsome rarely missed when he was
rarely missed, bro.
So
hell yeah.
That's a unique, one of a kind situation, if you ask me.
Good point.
But again, remember, like I said earlier, look at who Houston's GM is. Like, do you really trust him to be able to go out there in the later rounds and make them Ozzie Newsome type moves? I personally don't.
That's true. Well, I mean, yeah, I can agree with you on that as far as like looking at the optics of how the NFL draft is. It's a boom or bust. Like and like what you said, Trevor Lawrence, we drafted him, but it took us to change. It took us to get him a NFL coach in order for him to shine. Last year, people was thinking Trevor Lawrence was going to be a bust because of how Urban Meyer was, and some people said that this year throughout that game, through when we was 4-7. Oh damn, Jacksonville 4-7 with Doug Peterson, but late in the season, he started to believe. So, you know what I mean? I look at it like it's quarterbacks are going to be great depending on the culture and the coaches around them. Because we seen the Commanders mess up their whole season because they head coach wanted to go back to their veteran, to Carson Wentz, where he should have just rolled with Taylor Heineke. Heineke won the majority of the games. You don't.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you mentioned Heineke, because if and here's where I'll agree with you, T-Rock. If Houston decides not to draft a quarterback this year, which I think it'll be stupid not to, but if they don't, and they're trying to change the culture and establish that winning mentality, one of the first calls I would make will be to Washington and be like, hey, yo, what y'all want for Taylor Heineke? I would bring him in. I think you put Taylor Heineke on that team. Shoot, even the team they had last year, they'd be on the fringe of the playoffs. So,
that's what I'm saying, though. And like, and to piggyback on what you said, Davis Mills, they benched him to put two guys in to see what they can get out of those two guys. But when they put him back in, he won the rest of he won the last they only two other games that they won. So I mean, obviously, he's doing something for them to at least be competitive in their losses and to still get some wins. But it's all about, to me, it's all about the culture. Lovie Smith ain't a young coach no more. He got that old school mentality where as though we still gonna run that cover 2 defense. Our linebackers and our front four gonna try to get to you, and we just gonna disguise the coverage. But offensively, if you think about it, it was hand the ball off to Pierce, Davis Mills throw slants to the receivers or throw deep routes to Brandon Cooks. Or the tight ends, they was doing them underneath them shallow them shallow cross routes with the tight ends. But other than that, they didn't really have like an offensive scheme to where as though it can really show what. And I think you're right though. If they go get Shaw, who was Davis Mills' head coach, you know what I'm saying? He can do something, or go out there, or go out there and just get an offensive minded. Offensive minded. Go out there and get a good offensive coordinator, because you already got the head coach that's gonna make sure the culture is the way that is a winning culture. So that
you got a match made. It'll be a match made in heaven.
But I see like Stroud and what's the name going to like one of some other teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not Houston. No, not at all. Hey, Mark. You asked about him.
There he is. What's going on, Ready Red?
Ready Red. What up, Ready Red?
Bro?
Hey, Mark was asking about you, bro. He said, man, where Ready Red at, man? You be here. Next topic here, man. The next topic where we're going to go to here is the New Orleans Saints agreed to a deal with the Denver Broncos to hire Sean Payton as their new head
Love it when a prediction comes true.
Mr. President, start with you this time, sir, because the Broncos is in our division. So my question to you, sir, is what did this acquisition do for the Denver Broncos in the AFC West?
Long term, they mortgage their future yet again, because this is more first and third round picks they got to give up to go get somebody else. I think Dan Graziano of ESPN pointed out they've given up in the last 2 years like 5 high top 3 round draft picks. They gave up a bunch last year to get Russell Wilson. Then they had to give up a bunch this year to go get Sean Payton. Mm-hmm. So long term, I don't know what their future going to be looking like because you need draft picks to kind of build a team. But it's interesting to say the least. To see how Sean Payton does with Russell Wilson. Because a lot of what Sean Payton likes to do is more like the cerebral aspect of football. And those are areas that I've never really seen out of Russ. Russ is a magician. He can cook, he can improvise, do all those great things. But Sean Payton's looking for somebody that can like shred a defense with their mind, with their arm. Like it's all like timing routes and making the correct throw and the right read at this right time. So,
hey, Rock, go come out and come back here. Appreciate that, Red. Red said somebody got some audio feedback. Yeah, that was Rock.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see can the marriage to Sean Payton and Russell Wilson coexist, and if it doesn't coexist, this is where I'm really interested to see. Not that I'm praying on anybody's downfall, but if you're Denver, what do? Do you move on from the head coach that you just traded a bunch of picks for? Or do you move on from the quarterback that you traded a bunch of picks for and signed to a long-term deal? That's going to be a sticky situation. I don't think I want any parts of if it doesn't work out. But if it does work out, more power to them. It makes our division more competitive. So
I'll just mute Ron. Okay, so here's my second part. Well, you kind of explained it. So Sean Payton, of course, is an offensive type coach, right? Does he get Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton? Who else they got? Jerry Jeudy. Do he get these guys on? And they got a good running back too. Do he get these guys back on track now? Do you see Denver coming up the rankings now offensively? Coming in with Sean Payton?
I want to say yes. And the reason why I say yes is just because of how much of an offensive guru Coach Payton is. The main point I'm going to make in regards to that is look at how creative he got with Taysom Hill when he got a hold of him, all the creativity and plays he was coming up with for him, and how that even helped him get creative with Drew Brees. Like I remember that one fake they ran on Atlanta on a Thursday night football game, and you had Drew Brees running a fake and sprinting off to the end zone. You wouldn't have normally seen that out of Drew Brees if it wouldn't have been for Taysom Hill bringing out that creativity in Sean Payton. So if Sean Payton can tap into that and Russ can adhere to it and bond with it, then yeah, they could turn around and be a good offensive team next year.
Definitely something to be watching out for us Raiders. Holy shit. It's going to be tough on us. Rock, Broncos, man, they just hired Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, man, prestigious coach. He won a Super Bowl. So what do you think about the Broncos becoming Sean Payton becoming the Broncos' new head coach?
Well, I mean, of course I'm I'm pretty psyched about it because I've been saying it for about the last
You did say it.
3-4 weeks that I think
Yeah,
he
you
was
did
gonna
say
go
it.
there, either there or
Yeah.
Arizona.
You called
So
it.
I'm pretty psyched that I mean, I'd have liked to seen him in Arizona a little bit because he could have probably expanded a little bit more with Kyler Murray. Murray can do it more, like what Mark was saying. He can, with like what he did with Taysom Hill. Expanding Taysom Hill's mindset as far as being offensively an offensive weapon. I think he'd have been able to do that with Kyler Murray.
Let me
But
ask you a question real quick, T-Rock. Since
Okay.
you brought that up, if Kyler Murray wasn't hurt and like projected to miss a significant chunk of next season, do you think Sean would have taken that job over Denver if Kyler was healthy?
Good question.
I think so, because I believe so
It is.
because of the simple fact.
You should
Think about it. They have a true number one receiver in Arizona and DeAndre Hopkins.
Might not be there, but
yeah. But I'm saying if you bring in Sean Payton, who is an offensively, because think about it, Mike Thomas ain't. We don't even hear from Mike Thomas no more since Sean Payton has left New Orleans. Like, he can't even stay on the field, and it was like Sean Payton was the coach. Mike Thomas was never hurt. You know what I'm saying? Michael Thomas was always, he was Mr. Reliable.
He was hurt when Payton was the coach.
No, I'm saying, but now he was hurt, but he eventually would be back on the field. Like last season, we didn't even hear about Michael Thomas last season. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, maybe
he played the Falcons. I mean, that Falcons game.
But I think he
lit him up.
But remember 2020? The week before they came to Vegas to play us, Thomas got hurt and was never seen again the rest of that year.
Mm-hmm.
With Payton as the head coach, but go ahead.
Oh no, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, to me, I look
his
at it
numbers. Like, are you talking about his numbers?
Yeah, his numbers wise.
Yeah,
his numbers wise have faltered. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
And I think that's where that's where that problem is having with DeAndre Hopkins. He's coming back from injury. He noticing that, his numbers weren't the same. And then again, they had, his head coach was on the chopping block majority of the season this year. But I do think that Sean Payton chose to go with Denver because of the simple fact of how structured the franchise is. They might have a new owner, but they also still got John Elway in that building, who he can lean on, who like what you said, Mark, that has that quarterback-driven mentality that he can probably say to Sean Payton, I'm seeing this. Maybe we can work with Russ on this. Maybe we can, instead of forcing Russ to throw the ball 30 times a game, like you said, he got a good run deep. He got a good running back in Javonte Williams, who should be coming back from injury next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the receivers is Judy, Sutton. Tim Patrick still there, right?
Tim Patrick, I think he's still there.
And who they main? I said Sutton, Judy, and
Sutton is the number one. Cortland Sutton is number one.
Cortland Sutton, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Boy,
yeah. But I just look at it like I think he chose to go with Denver because Denver puts him in a position where he can win now.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as like getting the offense and the defense, because the defense ain't that bad. No. Denver's defense is, without a shot of a doubt, they can be in like the top 10, top 5 next season with a good winning culture at the helm. So, and plus I think he want to be able to go against Andy Reid twice a year, go against Patrick Mahomes twice a year, the Justin Herbert of the world, that y'all division is very enticing.
Notice he didn't say Josh McDaniels.
I mean, because y'all don't have I can't say Josh McDaniels because
no offense taken, brother.
Because I feel like Josh McDaniels, he wants to get that guy that's going to be able to run that Belichick system for y'all. So I mean, I do see this though. Y'all might have Garoppolo at y'all quarterback next season. So
I don't care. Long as they win, I don't
yeah.
care.
So
I have a Sean Payton question for the two of y'all,
what's up?
if I can,
Yes, sir.
because we're talking about Denver, and like
Uh-huh.
I'm just sitting in my mind thinking, like, number one, I think the one thing that Denver should regret out of that deal that they made last year for Russ was giving up Noah Fant. I think they really,
Yes.
really missed him last year.
Oh hell yeah.
But
Noah
I'm
Fant
curious.
was a beast.
Yes, he was,
Yeah.
bro.
I'm curious to see what y'all would think about this. Now that they have Sean Payton as head coach, do you think Sean Payton could have been able to turn Drew Lock into a franchise quarterback for them, or you think he'll have more success with Russ in his current state?
I think he could. I think he could. Drew Lock wasn't that bad. I think he could, man. Sean Payton is just again like DeMeco Ryans and I think Mark, you said when we was talking about the Texans and Dan Campbell. Even though he never played the game, but he's a coach. Sean Payton is. He's a teacher coach. He teaches. Even when he was on ESPN or whatever, he teaches as he taught. He a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he could have definitely did something for Drew Lock, but I think he's going to revitalize Russell Wilson's career. Of course, Russell Wilson took a nosedive this year because we never was used to Russell Wilson losing. Pete Carroll was Russell Wilson's coach. Pete Carroll is a player coach type dude. You see him 71 years old, all on the field. He all in the huddle, and he bonding with his players. Sean Payton is like that, of course, with Drew Brees. I think so, bro. I really think if Drew Lock was there, he could. But now that he's at Russ, I think now Russ is going to go back to Russ that we've seen in Seattle. Could be even better because you know how players are. Quarterbacks, the older they get, the better they get. So, I think so, bro. I think so, Mark. I think so.
Okay.
I really think so. What you think, Rob?
I can agree on that with as far as like with the Drew Lock, because Drew Lock was close to beating out Geno Smith this year for the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Geno turned it up a notch, you know what I'm saying, and held on.
That's it.
He held on to that job,
Yeah. Because he knew. Yeah, he knew. That's a good point.
And you know what I'm saying? And the thing about it with like I was saying about Davis Mills, the Broncos kind of like gave up on Drew Lock too early.
Yeah.
Like they didn't build a good team around him. And the dude, honestly, Drew Lock been playing on bad teams his whole sports. Like Missouri teams wasn't good. Y'all know you in the SEC. Y'all know the Missouri teams was.
You know who run the SEC?
Yeah, y'all was going in.
Ain't y'all?
Y'all was going into Columbia, Missouri, and spanking them.
You know who got the most titles in the SEC?
Yeah.
Host, what have you done for me lately? Get that hat off the screen, man. Y'all ain't done that lately, man.
You know who run it.
Hey, y'all on the island.
Georgia got it, but Georgia know who run that SEC, man.
It ain't y'all, man. It's about to be Oklahoma. It's about to be Oklahoma conference in a minute.
Georgia got back-to-back. That's cool. We done the back-to-backs already. We done them numerous amount of times.
Oklahoma gonna be like Missouri when they come.
Yeah.
They gonna be like
Soho. What up, Soho? What's up, Soho? Soho's in the building. That was a good hire. Sean Payton. That was I agree, man. I agree. I got a lot of respect.
Oklahoma gonna be like Missouri when they get to the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
Getting spanked 45 to 28, 40.
That's what's
50,
gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen when they come to Tuscaloosa, baby.
They're gonna be getting spanked 52 to 17 on a good Saturday.
Damn.
But
damn.
Yeah, I just think that like if Drew Lock would have had a good coach, because he didn't have an offensive minded coach.
You better know it, Philly G.
Vic Fangio, like everyone says, is a defensive minded coach. So
facts.
Drew Lock was just out there just trying to keep his job. So I think that I think he would have been good under Sean Payton because Sean Payton would have would have brought him down to earth a little bit, would have showed him how to read defenses, things of that nature. But he in Seattle and Russ in Denver, so now it's up for Russell. It's up for Russell Wilson to revamp his career again. Like when he was at NC State in college. He had to leave NC State to go to Wisconsin to make himself another household name again. I mean, he was a household name in NC State. Don't get me wrong. I used to hate playing against NC State on the old college games when Russell Wilson was their quarterback. So,
word. Hey, Mark, let me not to jump on the Raiders because we're gonna jump on them, then we're gonna jump back off. But God damn it, man. If oh my God, we miss Sean Payton, man. Holy hell. Imagine if Gruden would have did what he did this year. I think Sean Payton would have been our coach. I know he would have came our way. I know Sean Payton would have fell right in our lap. Holy smoke. That would have been off the chain.
Please don't. Please don't.
I just shot that out there, man. I was like, God damn it. Like, that
man, we could have had Doug Peterson, we could have had Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, we could have had Doug Peterson. He go to Jacksonville, they win a damn division.
It's all right, man.
Hey, boy, I tell you. Yeah, that's crazy.
Better days are coming. Better days are coming.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. The silver and black attack will be back, Jack.
You better know it. You better know it.
Oh, that's one bar right there I just put down.
No, Brady might retire and come out there with y'all.
Please don't. Please don't. No.
Speaking of that, we're going to go to the next subject, which is Tom Brady. Tom Brady, man, says he's retiring for good after 23 seasons in the NFL with the Buccaneers and the Patriots. This is a toss-up, man. This is going to go for anybody, man. Do you guys think that this is for real with Tom Brady's retirement? Rock says no. Go ahead, Rock. Oh, well, before you do that, Drew to the game. Drew to the early bird gets the worm. Yes, sir. Drew to the game, man, is in the
What's
building.
happening?
Silver and black trade for number 8.
Hey, he missed it. I gave Drew to the game a big old shout out early and put some praise on his team. He missed it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Word. You did. And those of you wanting Drew to the game will be sitting right here next Saturday, man. He will be in the building. Drew to the game. Yeah, Tom is done.
Power of positivity.
Yeah, Mr. Positivity. I'm sorry. You're right, Rob. The power of positivity Drew to the game. Do y'all like Anthony?
Ready, Red? I got mixed emotions on him, dog.
Ready, Red, get deep.
he was mad inconsistent in Florida, but we gonna talk about that one of these days.
Holy shit, though. But imagine, yeah, okay. I'll let you touch on that, Mark, because you more college guy.
Yeah, but, we gonna do a draft breakdown show here pretty soon, Ready Red. So when we do that show, we'll announce it. Come on through and chat it up with us. I got you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's some. You know what? That's a segment for On the Mark right there. That's an On the Mark segment.
That's a deep dive that we ain't got time for today. But
yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I definitely want to be on that show because
that's an On the Mark segment right there, Mark. We got to set that one up soon. That's
draft preview. Yeah, that's gonna be a nice show.
Yeah. I gotta, because Mark knows I'm not really a college guy. I know the prospects, but I don't really know all I know is
Alabama. Who coming to Alabama? Yeah, I got
it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I was born there. So I'm always a Tide fan. I was born in Alabama. But anyway, that's yeah. Ready, you get deep. Yeah, you get deep on that one. So what we had? Tom Brady. So Rock, tell me, man. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady. You said this is not for real. You don't believe Tom Brady?
No. Did we believe when Jordan retired the first time?
Oh, good point.
Then he came back.
Yeah. Then he came back again.
Right. To me, I just think Brady retired because he wasn't in the his team got put out. He wasn't gonna go home and mope for the rest of the off season. Why not retire? And then what you do towards the ending of the Super Bowl or something like that, he gonna go on Twitter or Instagram and say he's coming back, just so the spotlight can be on him. He did that last year when he retired. The spotlight was on Tom Brady during the Super Bowl. It wasn't about the Rams and the Bengals. People were talking about, Brady retired. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And he did it again.
He did again.
Before the Super Bowl this year, he's taking the shine off the Eagles and the Chiefs. We talking about whether this man gonna come back next season to scrub a whole franchise. Because once he come back, he's gonna be on the top of a lot of teams. He's gonna be on the top a lot of teams' priority.
Oh yeah.
Just for that one season to get them over the hump. Get a team over the hump. So
he's gonna dismantle somebody's offensive line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think I think right now he decided to do what was best because he might have had some regrets, like you said earlier, happy wife, happy life. So, his personal life affected how he was supposed to play football this year. So, I mean, maybe he might take a few months off, to get his personal affairs in order. But I don't think Tom Brady, when he should have retired, during the COVID year, when Tampa Bay was the first team to go to host the Super Bowl and play in the Super Bowl. That was the perfect way for him to ride out in the sunset. Because now, if he comes back, no team is trying to be that team that let him ride out in the sunset.
Facts. And that's why Reddy Red just said this. Damn, that I need Tom to hold that last L from us. See, the Cowboys hold that now. Because the Cowboys, he's gonna go down as lose
his
to
last
the Cowboys.
His last loss.
Game. Yep. To the Cowboys.
He didn't let Tennessee. He didn't let Tennessee be the last team to beat to end him. And when he was in New England, he turned around with the Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl.
Right. That's a fact. That's right, Drew. See you next week, baby. But that's hella right, Rob. That is hella right. And I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. President.
I think he's surreal this time. Honestly, on a few different avenues with this, I think one of the reasons why he unretired last year was because he felt like he didn't get to go out on his terms, in the sense of, like, if y'all remember, Adam Schefter and Jeff Darlington and some others have reported on it before he officially announced it. Yeah. And that kind of took the thunder away from him. And I feel like kind of, for lack of a better term, hurt his ego to the point where he was like, man, I ain't going to let them tell me when I'm done. Even though I was planning on being done, I'm going to go out when I want to. So I feel like that's why he came back this year.
I agree.
But given the toll that decision had on his personal life, but I'll get into the nitty gritty of it. I personally feel like that showed him, like, okay, if I keep going with this, what else am I going to lose? Like, that's something very significant that meant a lot to him. So I think coming off of the emotional stress of that, and then, like, really not knowing if he wants to put his body through that grind again and take the beating that he took this year, I think he's for real retired this time. But me, man, my mind is always going towards the future. So in all seriousness with me, when I first heard the news and he retired, I'm looking at Fox like, all right, so what y'all going to do? Because if you remember when he retired last year, Fox had given him this big old lucrative contract to come over and be a commentator. And then when he unretired, they temporarily put Greg Olsen in that top commentator spot. And if you watch any of the games that Fox has done this year, Greg Olsen been killing it, yo. Like, critics and fans alike love his commentary style. So he's doing phenomenally well. So now that Tom is officially done, what does Fox do? Do you kick Greg out and put your big $1 million band in there, or do you try to ease Tom into that role? Like, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with that commentary situation.
Put his ass on Thursday nights.
They can't. They got night games no more. That's Amazon.
Oh, that's right. Amazon. Damn, that's true.
So Yeah,
They probably
Yeah.
put
it'll
him in
be
the
interesting.
studio like they did Peyton.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. That's facts. That's facts.
True.
Yeah, they right. I
True
see him
that.
do. I see him doing something like that. I want to say with Tom Brady, man. I'm gonna kind of go with what Rock said. You just don't know with this guy. I mean, about to be 46 years old, and 40 days. They said that the declaration came exactly a year after Brady announced his retirement in 2022, only to change his mind in 40 days later. 40 days later. Now, I agree with you, Rock. You just don't know with this guy. Tom Brady is one of the most competitive football players in history. And by him losing to the Cowboys, I don't think that's going to sit well, probably too much with him, because he went 7-0 against those guys. And now your last L is coming from the Cowboys in the playoffs. And your team went 8-10. You went out 8-10, so you went out a bum. Now, granted, let's say he come back for Tampa. He's not going to. So this is where he need to leave alone, because you're not going to the Super Bowl. You're not going to. Your final story or final ending would not be you hosting number 8. It would not.
If he's in Tampa, if he were to go to the Jets or the 49ers, I feel like he could go out with another Super Bowl. But Tampa need to go, without a lack of a better term, they are in a full-blown rebuild. Like, from top to bottom, that roster needs to be gutted and rebuilt, in my opinion.
Facts.
But if you're Tom, though, one of the things that I've heard is I hate reporting on like players like personal situations and how they feel. Just like I respect their privacy in that sense. But from what I'm being told, if he did come back, one of the things that he wants is to be within close proximity to his kids. Giselle moved the kids down to Miami. So really at this point, unless it's like Miami or Jacksonville, really, I don't see him feeling comfortable going on one side of the country while his kids on the East Coast. So that's another reason why I think it might be like a legitimate retirement.
But his son with the lady from not to cut you off, Mark, but his oldest son with the daughter from Blue Bloods. You ever watch that show?
Yeah. His oldest son, Jack.
His son, I understand what you're saying, but one of his sons already live across the country from him. When he was in Tampa, I think his other son was living out in California, right? Because he came.
Like I don't
I
know.
think it was California.
Because he was at the game doing the Green Bay, the NFC Championship game when they beat Green Bay that year.
That's very true. He can always step down to be a quarterback whisperer. He would get two money off game. Oh, a quarterback whisperer. That would be good. Quarterback.
I think if he wants to still contribute to the game in a competitive way, he go down the John Elway route. You know what I mean? Or following the footsteps of the great Mark Brunell and become a fired quarterback coach. So,
yeah, I mean, Mark
Brunell, quarterback coach for who?
Mark Brunell is the quarterback coach up in Detroit.
Wow.
We know Tom Brady. We know Tom Brady is a competitive guy. He loved the game. He's not going anywhere. I can see him in the booth at Fox, and that's a lot of money they're throwing at him. Good Lord. But I agree with y'all, man. I mean, the guy need to be like a quarterback coach, or hell, even like Drew to the game saying right now, a quarterback whisperer. I mean, why the hell not? But I don't know, man. I'm just leaning towards Rock right now because I think Rock got something. I feel, I don't know, man. Tom Brady has done this, and like he made a comparison to Michael Jordan. I know it's two different people, but two same competitive minds. Two same competitive minds. Because if you look at it like this, competitive players like that, they don't go away too far. Because remember, Kobe Bryant retired. But Kobe Bryant, boy, it was speculation that, hey, Kobe might come back one more year. Like, he missed the game so much, even though he didn't. I'm just saying, it was just like a thought, like, Kobe Bryant, boy, I don't know. And they was asking Kobe, like, Kobe, you want to come back one more game? He was, one more season. He was like,
But
that
when
competitive.
Kobe retired, he completely stepped away from the game. Like he had like nothing to do with it for
Yeah,
a
he
minute.
He had other endeavors.
But
Brady's other endeavor fell apart though. That's another story.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. But what I'm getting at is the competitiveness of these players. They're not gonna go too far. Due to the game said minds. It's the minds, man. I've got a LeBron comparison that will blow you. Yeah, a LeBron James. When LeBron James is said and done, LeBron James is going to be doing something as far as basketball. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go with what Rock said because you just can't trust a guy like Tom Brady because of the way he went out and his majority of his career he's been winning. I think it's just I'm just shooting the spitballs at the wall, see if it stick. But he come back for whoever one more year, go to the playoffs, and lose in the playoffs, or maybe like an AFC, NFC championship type game, and then it'll be done. I think he just want to come out on top, man. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, host tell the truth.
He had his window to retire to be out on top that year that they beat Mahomes in them.
Yes,
for sure. that should have been the end of it.
That was a storybook Disney. That was a storybook Disney book ending right there.
Roll the credits.
But I'm gonna need hosts to tell the truth in front of these great people around the world to watch our show. Tell the truth, host. Be honest with everybody. The only reason why you agreeing with T-Rock is because I lead the league and I disagree.
In disagreements.
That's the only
Mark is the all-time leader in disagreements against the host. Matter of fact, get it to the people one time, Mark. Get it to them. Tell them. Let's hear it.
I disagree with today, but
let's go.
Host, I respectfully disagree with you.
That should have been your headline at the bottom.
Yeah, that should have been the headline, goddammit. Host, I disagree with those. God damn it, you thought grapevines think alike. I guess not. It's all good, baby. It's all good. It's all good. I don't think this guy going anywhere. I don't know, man. We'll see. It took him 40 days last time. It may take him fucking 41 days this time. So we'll see. We'll see September.
Yeah.
He got a whole lot of time to decide whether he gonna do it or not. But I don't know. I'm gonna put it. I'm like Rock, man. I'm just gonna put it up in the air, bro. I'm gonna put it up in the air. Come September,
once middle of July hit, the middle of July start.
But it's Tom Brady. He could sign day one, September the 4th. He can sign with somebody. But we'll see.
Hey, Ready Red, my man. I just want you to know, since you mentioned it, stay tuned for what we do when we start breaking down these teams like off-season futures and stuff.
Oh God,
Tampa Bay gonna be an interesting conversation. So
I was gonna, yeah, but I'm gonna close. I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna ask y'all real quick because I gotta ask that because Mark touched on it and it was in my notes. What's next for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now? What's next?
In a questionable rebuild, your roster is old as dirt on both sides of the ball. You fired your offensive coordinator. The only quarterback you have on contract going into next season is Trash that they took out of Florida a couple years ago.
What's his name? What's his name?
Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask.
Yeah, he's the only quarterback under contract in the next year. So
Trash.
He's gotten minimal to no playing time so far. So I don't know what he can do.
Holy shit.
But hey, if you Tampa Bay, man, like I said, you might as well and bring in the dump trucks and go ahead and get ready to rebuild this thing.
Did they go for Williams for USC?
Next year, possibly, if they got a high enough draft pick.
Word. Mark, you said, Mark always has the angle to keep things going. Mark is a heel. Mark turned heel, man. Mark is a heel, man. God damn. Mark with heel on me, man.
Keith Lee, the heel version.
Hey, bro. hey, bask in the glory, bro.
Oh, no. YouTube. Acknowledge
him. In his glory.
Mark is a heel, man. Said big ups to the prayers, man. Our gracious host and Rockstar Rock. Oh shit! I like that. I'm about to copyright that. Rockstar Rock, repping the Jags. TV don't get no better than this. Please like and subscribe and share. Helps us bring more content to you. That is coming from Mr. Positivity himself, Drew to the game.
Tell him, Drew. Tell him, man.
Tell him, Drew. Tell him.
Our brother from another mother.
You ain't lying, boy. That's Mr. Positivity. Bucks need to build the O-line back up. Protect K. Task or whatever quarterback they bring in. That's a fact.
So Blaine Gabbert, like he restricted. He a free agent coming up this year.
Yeah. His contract was signed for the same term as Brady. So.
Yep, he is restricted. Yep, that is very, very true. God damn, Rockstar Rock.
I like that.
True to the game, come on with some stuff here. Host the Mania, Rockstar Rock. Hey, I'm getting this one. That's heel Mark.
Hey, bro.
That's heel Mark right there, boy. He's a heel.
I wouldn't say I'm a heel. I just joined the NWO. That's all.
Rockstar Rock. Ain't that some shit? That's crazy. I ain't think of that. How the hell I ain't think of that, man? That's crazy.
Rockstar Rock.
It is.
Hey, host, can I ask y'all a question to close things out?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So to close things out, because we were talking about it before the show, and I just want to end everything on a high note with y'all real quick. So question for y'all.
Yes, sir.
You got a sports franchise, right? Your back is against the wall, and you need to draft a franchise player. Who are you trusting to draft that franchise player for you more? John Elway or Michael Jordan?
John Elway.
Who do you trust to draft a franchise player more? John Elway or Michael Jordan?
I'm not going to answer that.
That's a trick. Yo, is that a trick? That's a trick question, right?
What?
Hey,
I mean, Jordan. I mean, LaMelo doing wonders for y'all down there in Charlotte. So.
Yes.
At least Jordan got his Melo and Kimba.
Denver, John Elway has helped. They'd have drafted some pieces with Surtain II, Javonte Williams,
Jerry Jeudy.
PS2 won a John Elway pick, but when they drafted PS2, Elway was out of the GM role. He was just in the front office.
Oh, for real? Last year when they drafted him?
Yep.
Damn. Yeah. He stepped down?
Yeah.
PS1?
When they drafted Patrick Surtain II, the cornerback, PS2, when they made that pick, Elway wasn't the GM making that pick.
Oh, wow.
That's true. Elway was president, like vice president.
Yeah, president, like football ops or something like that.
Okay, so he was in the position that Tom Coughlin was in with us. Mm-hmm. President of player personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on that note, then I don't know, man. That's a good question.
That is a good question. Maybe we'll change things now. Holy shit! Okay,
that should be a trivia question.
Goddamn. You know what? Hell, why not? I ain't gonna do it. But yeah, that is a good tribute. That's good. Damn.
Can't trust both of them. That's all I say.
Both of them is terrible.
I figured I end the show on a high note for y'all.
That was definitely sky high.
Shit. You raised the bar with that question, bro.
That's a fact, bro. I'm out here scratching here, boy. What the hell? Damn. Both of them is terrible. But Elway,
that's the point.
Oh, damn. I don't know. That's
Simeon, Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, I know, right? You got my head scratching there. MJ or Elway. Damn, one of them can draft it all. Hell no.
Shout out Ready Red, man.
Ain't that so? Holy shit.
Because MJ only be wanting to draft players from no disrespect to the state, But he only be wanting to draft players from North Carolina.
North Carolina, right? No, hell no. No. Hey, you right. You are right. All right, what Jordan be thinking, bro? I told Mark before we was in the production meeting, I told Mark, I said, man, I don't know what's going on with the state of North Carolina, but I tell you, right here in Greensboro, North Carolina.
The T-Pop. Oh yeah, Duke versus UNC tonight.
But what the hell going on with why is Carolina not in Charlotte, not two major teams in the state of North Carolina not getting dogs? You have to get dogs to win. And when I mean dogs in slang term, I mean great players, good players.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go out here and get somebody. The Charlotte Hornets can be better than what they are. They need to build around LaMelo. This dude was Rookie of the Year. He's very, very talented. He's the best out of all the balls. Pause.
Yeah.
Pause. But he's the best out of that family. And build around the dude. Miles Bridges is not there. Okay, Jordan, go in the free agent pool now and go get some players. You missed out on Donovan Mitchell. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Let's do something, Charlotte. I like Charlotte. I like the Charlotte Hornets. I like them. Geez, that's a whole nother NBA rap. NBA guys is coming to you in 2 weeks, man. NBA talk is coming, man. We got a lot to talk about in the NBA. Holy smoke. Holy smoke.
I'm coming for that title.
You heard him. You heard him already. You heard him already, man.
He got to taste the championship gold. You can't get enough.
Hey, Mark, we need a corner, so make sure that you break them down, too.
Oh, yeah, you already know. I'm a Raiders fan, bro. We've been looking for a cornerback since we got rid of Nnamdi Asomugha, so.
Where's my tambourine? You ain't preaching nothing but the truth, bro. Well, I had a good show. That was a good show today, man. Good show, man. Appreciate everybody in the live chat. Philly G, Ready Red, Soho, Mr. Positivity himself, Drew to the game, man. We appreciate everybody in the live chat. And those of you who are watching us right now live on the Real Sports group, on Facebook, YouTube, on Twitch, Twitter. I'm gonna do some work with that Twitter account, man. We gotta get that Twitter popping. That Twitter is gonna be popping. But that's our show for today, man. As always, we want to thank you guys for watching another episode of the Real Sports Talk Show, man. My guys, man, y'all show my guys some love. T-Rock, Young Mark, man, show them some love and hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up, man.
And soul.
Yeah, man. It's soul. Bring it back.
Gotta have the soul, bro.
Gotta have that, man. Bring that back, man. So y'all show my guys, man, some love, man. They brung it today. Of course, I got two guys right here with some highly NFL intelligence and knowledge, man. So appreciate them bringing that, of course. Ready Red, man. Ready Red. See y'all players next Saturday. Ready Red, please.
Yes, sir.
That is a Super Bowl show, and it's gonna be one hell of a show, man. We're gonna have a all-star cast.
Make sure Drunk available too. We got
Drunk.
Yeah.
I want all my live dogs. I want Ready Red, Drunk, Philly G, everybody. I want everybody to show up, man, because that is a big show for us next Saturday. Super Bowl. We're going to be talking Super Bowl. It's going to be a Super Bowl thing, and we want everybody to show up, and we're going to make this thing happen, man. So, again, man, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up for T-Rock and Young Mark, man. These guys, these two very, very smart, intelligent minds right here. Young Mark, Mr. President, take us out.
Hey, man, as always, want to thank everybody for showing up. Couldn't do this without y'all the fans, wherever you're watching, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I don't care if you're watching on a boat in the middle of the ocean, man. We appreciate you being here. Make sure you come through next week, like the host and everybody said, man. It's a Super Bowl. Don't get much bigger than this if you're a football fan. We're going to have all the latest news, rumors, and stats, injury reports, predictions, you name it, we got it. If you want Super Bowl coverage, man, y'all know where to come. We going to be here. We ain't hard to find. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Tell your mama, tell your friends, tell everybody. You like sports, this is the place to be.
Tell them. Billboard. Let's
Wow.
go. Let's go. Billboard. Philly G, 1:30. Start time 1:30 next Saturday. 1:30. We're gonna be live and it's gonna be popping. And it's gonna be a great show, man. Ready Reds, I hope. Filthy Philly.
Oh man.
Lose by 20. No. I hope not. But damn, he went it straight after him, man. All right, well, I gave Mr. President a close. I'm gonna go. Rock, what you got?
All right, I would just like to say to everybody out there, keep tuning in, keep showing us your love, your support. You know, we can't do it without y'all. You know, shout out to my family. They give me all their love and support as well.
No doubt.
And, you know, just everybody continue to be safe, you know, and, you know, like, all praise be to, well, for me, all praises be to Allah. For everybody else, you know,
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
is, you know, the protector of everyone. So
You got that
just
right.
everyone keep your head up, keep fighting, and let's rock out.
Let's rock. Another catchphrase. Let's rock out. God damn, what's going on here?
This must have been how Al Davis show when he was coming to all our catchphrases.
Get my lawyer. Call it. Hey! Rockstar Rock and Rock Out.
I got you.
I'll copyright all that.
I got you.
I'll copyright all that, baby.
I got you.
No question and no doubt, man. Again, man, good show, man. Glad you guys are here. Appreciate Young Mark and T-Rock, man, blessing us with their NFL knowledge. So we're going to get up out of here. Don't forget to check us out Tuesday night, Tuesday Night Delight Sports to talk about, man. We're going to talk some more NFL discussions. So come pull up on us next Tuesday at 7:00 live, coming to you from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. By saying that, man, take care of yourselves. Everybody be safe. See you guys Tuesday, 7 p.m. We out.
Folks.